Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would do a beauty declutter and I figured why not bring you along with me. I'm going to be going through my whole beauty stash and parting ways with anything that is old because I know I've got a few things that just are well past the use by date, and also just decluttering a few things that I'm no longer using. So passing those on to friends and family who I think might like them, and anything unused I will be donating to Beauty Bank. I will leave all the details for where I'm donating the products to down in the description box below in case you live in Sydney and you're kind of looking for some options for yourself. So maybe I will show you what I'm working with and we'll just dive right into it because I know this is going to be a long one. So here is a look at my entire beauty stash. I definitely wouldn't say that I have got loads of makeup compared to some, but I definitely have more than the average person, and I would like to pare it back a little bit just because there is more here than I can possibly put on my face. So what I'm going to do is go category by category rather than by each of these drawers that I've got them in, and I think I might start with lipsticks first just because they're the ones that I always really struggle to part with. Okay. So just looking at this straight away, I already know I want to part with this Givenchy lipstick. This is really pretty, however, the shade of it just doesn't look very nice on me. It's a really nice kind of orangey toned red, but I just find it doesn't work for my skin tone. So I'm going to part ways with that one. I also think it's finally time to let go of this little Bite Beauty lippy. It's lovely, however I've had these for about 3 years, so I'd say those off, so I'm going to bin that one. I've got these really lovely lipsticks. These are both from Becca, which I'm going to keep. They're just really nice nudes. I love this one. It is called, what is that, Yours Truly. So I'm going to keep those. This one here from Sephora is a really nice color too. It's a little bit different to anything else that I have, so I might hang on to that one for now. I've got a couple here from Tarte. The formula of these is really lovely. It's nice and creamy. I love this shade. It's a beautiful raspberry. This is Escape. And I also have this one, which isn't really me. It is called Salt Life. I have swatched that one. And it's more of a purple toned color, which I just find really unflattering. So I'm going to pass that one on, as well as this one here. Whoops. This one here, which is their H2O gloss. Again, it's in that purpley color, and I just do not wear shades like this. This I really like. It's their Tarte lip paint, and this just has sort of a little bit of a glittery sheen to it. It's universally flattering. I find that one really nice. I love this from MAC. I do find it a little bit drying, but the pigmentation on it is just unreal, and that color is beautiful. It's just your classic Pillar Box red. This is the what is this called, Retro Matte Liquid Lip Color, and feels so grand. Then I've got this here. There's a little sample from Kat Von D. This is one of their Everlasting Liquid Lipsticks in the shade Milagro. That's a weird name. This is really cool. Kind of reminds me of pumpkin spice. Nice orangey tone. I've got a couple of lipsticks here from Clinique. These are both pretty similar, however I do think I'm going to hang on to them. Beige Pops, this one I wore on my wedding day. Yeah, this one probably actually I need to part ways with. It's so pretty though, but I've had it for, oh, it's broken too. I'm going to throw this one away. I've had this for about 3 years now, so it's getting a little bit old. This one here is much newer, so I'm going to hang on to that. This one here is Back Talk from Urban Decay. The formula of this is really nice, however, again, it's sort of that purple undertone, and I just find these really wash me out and do not look good on me at all. This is new from Sugar. I haven't tried that. It's a lip balm, so I'm going to hang on to it. This here is one of my favorite lipsticks from Marc Jacobs, and this is called one of their new nudes in the shade Eat Cake, and I love this. It's just a really pretty pinky peachy nude color. Then over here I've got what I guess you would call my luxury lipstick. Already I know that my 4 Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks need to go. These are nice, however I think there are better lipsticks out there for the price. My favorite one is probably Coachella Coral, which is beautiful. Such a nice pinky toned coral hue. And then I also really liked their red, which is Love Bite. This is gorgeous. But yeah, I've had these for way too long. They're definitely past their expiry. Here I have got 2, what are these called? Clarins Jolie Rouge lipsticks. These have different formulas depending on the color. This one here is the shade Papaya, and it's a melon toned color. Again, just doesn't really suit my skin color, so skin tone, so I'm going to part with that. And then I've got this one, which is a really deep dark purple. I don't really wear these shades that often, but I think it is nice to sort of just have it in my collection. Next we've got this one from NARS in the shade Sheena. This was sadly limited edition, but it is such a pretty color. I love wearing that one. We've got a couple of these, I guess they're like lip mattes from YSL. These are gorgeous, and the red is one of my favorites. I always get compliments whenever I wear this. It's so nice. I'll leave the shade number listed in the description box. This one from YSL I've never used. It is not really the type of color I would reach for, so I'm going to pass this one on. Also this one here again, it's that same sort of, I don't know, corally reddy undertone that does not suit my skin, so I'm going to part with that. And I've got a few MAC lipsticks. I think I'll probably hang on to all of these. Lady Danger is one of my favorite reds. So pretty. It's sort of an orange base. Then here, this one is Velvet Teddy, just a classic. I really like reaching for that one. And then we've also got, this one is Twig. I never ever use this. It is pretty, but I think it's that kind of purple undertone that I don't like, so I'm going to pass that one on. These two lipsticks here are from the MAC and Charlotte Olympia range. I just swatched one of the reds there. I've got two different ones. I think the other one's kind of more of a deeper, darker red, but they are just absolutely gorgeous, so I will be hanging on to those just because they're a little bit different to the other reds in my collection. I do have a bit of an obsession. I also have this red here from Tom Ford. This is the shade Wild Ginger. Again, one of my favorites. Such a classic. It is such a beautiful red and a really lovely formula. It's so comfortable to wear. Then I have these two here from Estee Lauder, which are really nice. This red is very beautiful too. However, I do really find I don't reach for blue-based reds, so I'm going to pass that one on. And then this one here, I want to say, is that purple toned pink, so I think I'll part ways with that one too. And then I've just got this Chanel lipstick, which is a classic. It's sort of a sheerer formula, but it's really lovely. It's sort of similar to that Tom Ford one, but this one is a lot lighter weight on lips. That is great. I got rid of an entire drawer. Next, I thought we could go through all of my powder products, so I've actually pulled the ones that I use in my daily routine as well into here. I thought I'd start with the Clinique Cheek Pop blushes. I have 3 of them here, and I absolutely love these. The formula of them is really beautiful, and they also have this beautiful little daisy imprint in them. I need to put one of these into my daily stash because I just have not been reaching for them that much, but I really like the formula, so I'm going to hang on to those. Urban Decay Beach Bronzer, I love that. Rimmel Insta Matte Fix Matte. This is a great budget mattifying translucent powder. However, I just haven't been reaching for this for a really long time, so I think maybe I might part ways with this one, as well as this All Nighter powder from Urban Decay. I did not like this. It has color to it, which I just found darkened my concealer, which was kind of where I wanted to put this on my face. Then we have this little highlighting palette from Rimmel. I really like this. The shades in this are absolutely gorgeous and just so pigmented, so I'll be keeping that. Ndota Spa, this is a really lovely cream highlight. It's super pigmented, but I just haven't found myself reaching for it. It's sort of got a bit of a pink undertone to it, so I think I might part ways with that. This is a little tester of the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Bronzer. I really like this. I actually might put this into my everyday stash. I've got the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder. This is really lovely little highlight. It is more of a pink icy cool toned. I don't really have anything else like this, so I'm going to keep it. I've got these little MAC quads, which I made forever ago. I need to get all the shadows out of here and then maybe put some new ones in here because these are great for travel. I really like this little quad combo that I made when I went to America. That's how old that is, from when I went the first time. My NARS little eyeshadow duo. This is Kalahari. I never reached for this. I think I maybe bought the wrong color. Oh wow. right? It's very cool toned, really beautiful shadows. I love NARS eyeshadows, so maybe I might put this one into my daily stash as well, so that hopefully I can reach for it and use it a bit more. Alright, next we've got this Zoe the Spice of Life eyeshadow palette. I used this once and I really love the formula of these eyeshadows. However, I just don't see myself using this regularly, so I think I might part ways with this one too. NARS, this will be, oh, this is the Fort de France highlight. I really like this as a powder highlight. It isn't too glittery or anything like that. It actually looks really nice on the skin. It doesn't really seem to highlight my pores too much, and it has a lot of bang for your buck. This is one of my mini MAC eyeshadow palettes. Love this, it's a good classic. This is Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. I've had this for years and I think it's time to bin this one. I'm sure it's well past its use by date. 30 months, so that's close to 3 years. I'd say I've probably had it a little bit longer than that. Next we've got, this is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Waterproof Bronzer. I love this. It may look like it's got sparkle in it, but it doesn't. It's one that I use a lot day to day. This is my NARS blush in the shade Gimme. I absolutely adore this blush. It is such a lovely peachy color, really nice for kind of spring, summertime. I've got a couple of Tarte blushes here. I've got the shade Exposed, which is a really soft nude. I will say this one is not super pigmented, but it is great if you want a natural flush to your cheeks. And then I also have this one here, which is more of a vibrant color. This is the shade Natural Beauty, and I might maybe part ways with this one. Got my Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette, which was exorbitantly expensive, and I have to say I was not impressed with the formula of these. I am going to hang on to it just because of how expensive it was, and I might put this back into my daily stash. Next we've got my Tarte highlight in the shade, I think this one is Exposed Highlight, and I wasn't really a big fan of this one. I will say it is really glittery. It's got a lot of pigment to it, and you can kind of see it there on the back of my hand. However, I just didn't really like the way that this sat on my skin. We've got this Tarte Pro Glow and Blush palette. This is ridiculous. There's so much in here, and I have to say this is not really the type of product that I would use. I much prefer individual blushes over a blush or contour palette like this, so I'm gonna pass this one on. I actually think this is brand new, so I might donate this one actually. Alright, next we have my Lorac Pro palette. I love this. This is such a great eyeshadow palette. If you haven't tried this, highly recommend it. It's a really good one for travel too. Marc Jacobs Air Blush. This is in the shade Flesh and Fantasy, and I adore this. Kind of has this sort of shimmery side to it, the end here, so it has a really beautiful luminescence when it's applied to the skin. This is my IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores Powder. I use this to set my makeup and I love it. I will say though that this one is quite old and I do have a new one, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bin this one here because it's probably past its use by date actually, and I'm going to replace it with the new one that I have. My NARS Wanted palette. I really like this and I started using this every day again, and I'm so enjoying having this in my stash. This Natasha Denona Diamond and Glow palette I do not understand. I tried using this and I really don't know who would be using this on their skin as a blush and a highlight. This blush has so much shimmer in it. It is ridiculous, and it's not like it's a glittery shimmer. And then you've got to see this highlight. This highlight is beyond ridiculous. It is actual glitter sparkles. This really highlights all your pores, and I don't know, it to me seems a bit like stage makeup. I do actually think this combo is really pretty as eyeshadow though, so I'm keeping it for that purpose, but I do not think that that is a good blush and highlighting palette. Then we've just got a few more eyeshadow palettes. All of these ones here I'm actually going to be keeping, so I think I'm just going to move on to the next category. So I've just given that a little bit of a tidy up now, so that is a look at the powders that I now have left. Now let's move on to eye products. I just might just those a little bit closer to me, so we might just start with mascaras. The one that I'm currently using is this one here from IT Cosmetics. It is their Superhero Mascara. I quite like this. It is super lengthening and pretty volumizing as well, and I don't find that it smudges too badly. I do sometimes get a little bit of it rubbing off onto my brow bone, but I'm going to be keeping this in my everyday stash. Then the other mascara that I'm liking at the moment is this one here from Peter Thomas Roth. Again, this one does smudge a little bit, but a lot less than the IT Cosmetics one, so hang on to that one. Mascaras that I'm going to be, oh wait, I'm also going to be keeping this one here from Tarte and this one here from Pretty Vulgar. These ones, again, not perfect. They aren't great if you've got oily eyelids. However, I love the way they make my lashes look. So those two are keepers as well. Actually, just going back to this one doesn't really smudge. So that one's not too bad with the humidity here. Then the other mascaras that I've got, I actually think I'm going to part with all of them because I'm not a big fan. So this one from Sigma, if you love tubing mascaras, ones that kind of add those fibers onto your lashes, you will love this. This is called the Sinuosity Lash. I just found that this was impossible to get off. These two I've got here, one is from Indota Spa and one from Nude by Nature. I didn't really find they did much for me and they were super smudgy. And then we've also got this Tarte Lights Camera Lashes mascara. Now this smudged quite a lot on me. I thought it made my lashes look lovely, but the fact that it smudged made this one that I can't really use just because it's a little bit too high maintenance for me. Then we have got, oh, this is really beautiful. This is from Tarte and this is called, what is it, their Chrome Paint in the shade Top Yacht, and this is just like this is a pigment. It is beautiful and I definitely need to find more occasions to wear that, but you can kind of see how richly pigmented and just how gorgeous that color is. So definitely a great one. I'd love to pick up some more of those. Then also from Tarte, I've got some of their Rainforest of the Sea. These are called the Sea Glass, and these are eyeshadows, and these are gorgeous as well. These are really lovely and a little bit different to some of the other eyeshadows. So it's a cream based formula and it's got little silver flecks through it, and you can kind of just pop that on your eye and then blend it out, and it's really lovely. You can share it out as well and put it over an eyeshadow, which is something that I've done. I really like those. This is my current eyeshadow base from Urban Decay, the Primer Potion. Can't go wrong with this. The NARS Pro Prime eyeshadow base is also amazing. This is really old, from By Terry, their Ombre Black Star. I have the shade Frozen Quartz, and I mean, I maybe could still use that, but I've had it way too long, so I think it's time to part with this one. These are another couple of sort of eye paints or eye chromes, and they're from Maybelline, and these are fantastic value for money. They have the most amazing wear time. I really love this one here, and actually for a time I was using it as an eyeshadow base just because once it's on your lids it does not budge. And this olive one, I think I went to declutter this once and then I couldn't. It is so pretty, so I kind of hung on to both of those. And beautiful formula, great one from the drugstore. From Chanel, I've got one of their Ombre Premier eyeshadows. I really like this. It's the shade Undertone. It's really nice and creamy. I did find it creased a little bit on me, so I would need to use a eyeshadow primer, but this is now dried out, so unfortunately I'm going to have to bin this one. I wouldn't mind picking up a few more of these maybe, and I believe they may have reformulated them now, or at least changed the name. Then we've got 3 of the Tarteist, what are these called? The Double Take Eyeliner. I was sort of a bit mixed on how I felt about these originally, however now I've come to quite like them. The felt tip pen is really pigmented, super dark black. I just find that it can be a little bit stiff, and I really like the gel eyeliners on the other end. They are really nice and creamy and they don't drag. So a great one if you're looking for a new eyeliner to try out. This is just a little lip balm. I don't know what that one's doing in here. From SoundCeuticals that I got as a gift from one of my friends. I've actually got a couple of other random lip products in here. The Matte Prep and Prime. I never use anything like this to prime my lips, really. I think it's supposed to be good if you're kind of priming your lips before a red or something. It just helps kind of fill in the gaps, but this is sort of one of those products I never remember to reach for, so I'm going to give that to my sister because I think she'll probably use it more. Then I've got this Lancome gloss. I don't really wear things like this that much, and I did find the color of this a little bit sheer. It is really pretty and such a nice petal pink, but I just don't find myself reaching for it, so again I'm going to pass that one on. We've got a couple more liners. This is the Tarte Kitten liner. I actually think I prefer the other one. This one here maybe looks a little bit blacker, but maybe I'll give it another go actually. I wear winged liner every day, so it kind of makes sense to have it. I've also got this one here from Maybelline, which I really like. This one has a much softer tip. I would say I have noticed that it started to bleed on me a little bit whenever I'm drawing a wing eyeliner, so I'm not sure if that means I need to get a new one. Then I've got here from YSL just a small mini travel pencil, just a great little black. And oh, this is amazing, from the high street, or from the drugstore should I say. This is the Rimmel Insta Strobing highlighter in Golden Glow, and it's such a nice highlight. I love a good cream highlight, and even better if it comes from the drugstore. Yeah, I put way too much on, but it's really pretty. It gives a nice luminescence to the skin, and you can actually use this as a base underneath your makeup as well if you want it to be extra dewy. Cool, I don't think I did too badly there. Now let's move on to base products, of which I've got quite a few. Just going to do what is in here, and then I've also got a bunch of products in here that I've kind of been using on the daily. I've also got a couple of brow products too. So we'll just go one by one, starting with the Tarte Face Tape Foundation. This is super full coverage, and I have to say it looked really, really nice when I first put it on my skin, but after about 4 hours I found it really emphasized my pores. I don't know if maybe I need to use a different primer underneath, but I'm just not a full coverage gal, so I'm gonna maybe try and share this out with moisturizer, just because I think it's a shame to part ways with it. It's brand new. I think I've used this twice, so I'm going to hang on to this one for now. Next we've got the Rimmel Wake Me Up foundation. I love Rimmel foundations, however I just haven't reached for this in so long, and I would say that this is probably expired now. Yeah, it kind of smells a bit funky, so I'm gonna throw that one away. Now I always love Clinique foundations. I think they're gorgeous. I love the fact that skincare is kind of at the heart of all of their makeup products, and the Beyond Perfecting foundation and concealer is one of my favorites. This is actually more of a full coverage concealer, and what I love is the applicator, which is a really large doe foot applicator. It is such a beautiful finish. It looks really flawless on my skin. It doesn't look heavy, and it doesn't look like there's a lot of product on my skin when I'm wearing it. So I really, really like this one, and definitely one I'd recommend if you want your skin to look perfect. I also have the Even Better Glow. This one is a little bit too light for me, and this one has actually got salicylic acid in it, so it's supposed to have skincare benefits at the same time as making your skin look flawless and natural for day to day. So there's a bit of SPF. However, the last time I applied it, I didn't love the finish, so I'm not sure if maybe I applied it differently, but I've had it for too long. It's a bit too light, so I'm going to part ways with this one. I also have this serum foundation from Clarins. It's the Skin Illusion Natural Hydrating Foundation. This is so cool. It has a little pipette to get the foundation out, but the color is just way too light for me. I just can't really make this work unless maybe I mixed a darker color in. So I'm going to pass this on to my sister, because I actually think this will be a good shade match for her, because she's much fairer than I am. I've got a couple more foundations here that I've been using day to day, and I'm going to be keeping all of these. First one is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Water Foundation. I adore this, and I've been using this so much. Again, it sort of has that little pipette to distribute the product. This just looks so beautiful on my skin. It is not heavyweight, it's really light, hydrating, it looks dewy, very kind of luminous. Adore this, such a winner. Then we have the Estee Lauder Double Wear Nude Water Fresh Makeup. God, that's a mouthful. I really like this foundation. It is a classic. I do wish it had a pump, because at the moment it's just you open it up and then you have to disperse it onto your brush or a sponge, or your hands even. This is just, it is a great product. It is more of a medium to full coverage foundation, and I like to typically just share it out and put a really light layer of it on my skin, so it looks quite flawless and it doesn't look too full on. So keeping that one. My newest foundation is the It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Cream. Now I got so lucky with this because it is always sold out at Sephora, and I was invited to an event with It Cosmetics recently and they shade matched me there, and I am loving this. I actually have a brush that goes with it, and that's how I've been applying it, but it's great. It's got the little pump. The way that this looks on my skin is so flawless. It's just one of the best foundations that I've tried recently. So if you haven't tried this, it is 100% worth the hype. I highly recommend it. I've heard so many people talk about this product and I totally get it. Next, maybe let's talk about concealers. What have we got here? Got a few. So I'm not going to be hanging on to too many of these. So the first one I've got is the Urban Decay, oh I forget what this is called, All Nighter Concealer. This is way too light for me. They're neutral. This is super duper full coverage. I think if you have really dark circles, this would probably be a great one for you because it just covers up everything. But for me, I just found I couldn't use it because it was way too light. I just looked ridiculous with this on. Next sort of very full coverage concealer that I have here is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I actually quite like this. I didn't love it the first time I used it. It's got that doe foot applicator just like the Urban Decay one. I didn't love it, but what I found was that a little bit of product goes a long way. So what I do is I put a small amount on my inner corner and then I blend that out using a damp beauty blender, and it gives me a really nice level of coverage. It's not too full coverage because I tend to prefer much more natural looking makeup, but it doesn't crease or anything like that. But I think with this particular product, it's all about figuring out how to make it work best for you. I have heard that doing a really moisturizing skincare routine first to prime your skin is the way to go with this as well. Next we have the Rimmel Last and Finish 25-Hour Breathable Concealer. I adore this concealer, and this is the one that I use to spot conceal, a great one from the drugstore. Rimmel really is my go-to brand when it comes to more affordable base products, and this I need to repurchase actually. I don't like the applicator because it's this weird sponge and then you squeeze the product out, and I don't really think that's particularly hygienic, but the product itself is really amazing and definitely worth it. So I'm going to be hanging on to that because there's a little bit left. And then I've got here, this is the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer. I think I've actually been colour matched to a shade that's a little bit too dark for me on this, which makes it a little bit more difficult to use, but I haven't been able to get on with this yet. When I was at the It Cosmetics event, I actually asked one of the makeup artists there how to use this, and they gave me a few tips. So I am planning on giving this another go, or I make a final judgment on it, but I believe the key is to using a very small amount of product. So I'll keep you guys updated on how I get on. Then we have the Glossier Stretch Concealer. This is a really, I guess a really creamy concealer. I always found that this creased on me, so it wasn't really ideal. It always looked kind of, I guess, very dewy and slick on my skin, so I didn't particularly love that, but I did like the way that it concealed my spots because it didn't dry out, so it was perfect if you did have a spot that was particularly dry, or you know, one of those dry patches on your skin. It didn't cling to that. So I'm going to be parting with this because it is really old. I think it's probably past its use by date. What does it say here? Yes, 6 months, definitely past its use by date. Then I've got the YSL Touche Eclat, which is a beautiful illuminating concealer. I love this product. Okay, so more Glossier. This is the Halo Scope. I love this highlighter. I think it's so gorgeous. It is really natural looking. This is the shade Quartz. Just adds a really nice glow to the skin, but I've had this for way too long, so I am going to be throwing that one away. I've got a primer here. This is the Cover FX Watercloud Primer. I have tried this twice and I didn't love it. It's got a blue color to it, which actually just, when you blend that into your skin, it melts away. But I found that when I went to put makeup over the top of it, it balled up. So I'm not sure if I maybe need to leave it longer. I'm going to give this a bit more of a go, but at the moment I haven't really gotten on with this product that much. Here's another primer. This is not only a primer but also a highlighter or illuminator from Peter Thomas Roth, and I adore this. It is so stunning. It's kind of got a pinky gold color to it. When you put it on your skin, you can kind of see how luminous it is. There's little gold flecks throughout, and I love putting this on under my makeup because it's just a really nice base and it just gives me that lit from within glow. So that is such a favorite, and sometimes I'll just pop that on the high points of my cheeks to give me a bit of a highlight. And then one of my favorite primers, this is just a moisturizing primer, is from Marc Jacobs. This is their Coconut Water primer. I can't remember the full name, but this is gorgeous and it smells amazing too. So a great moisturizing primer if you're looking for one and you want more of a luxury edition. And I've got these little Glow Mon Amour highlighting drops from L'Oreal. These are fantastic. However, I do find a little goes a long way. Honestly, there's no need for the pipette because basically I just touch the side of the dropper and I use that to highlight. Great one from the drugstore. Then we've got a couple of blushes here. I do love cream based products. I think they're absolutely beautiful. This one from Bobbi Brown is awesome. It's kind of like a nude. Actually, same with this one here from Clinique, but they're both lovely. very easy to use, very easy to blend out. Then we've got, we've got a sample of the Hourglass primer. This is very nice, the Mineral Veil primer. However, I think it is very expensive and I actually prefer the Marc Jacobs one. This has more of a silicone finish to it. And then I have two brow products. The It Cosmetics one is new, so I'm not planning on parting ways with it. This is sort of like a universal brow product. I like that it's got a spoolie on one end, but they only have one shade, and you sort of basically how much pressure you apply determines whether, you know, be for blonde or for a brunette. I think it's nice. I probably prefer Benefit when it comes to brow products, but I don't think you can go wrong with that. And then we've got Gimme Brow, which is usually what I'm wearing day to day. So that is a look at those products there that I'm keeping. Now what I'll do is I'll show you everything that I've kept in my stash and then all of the things that I have decided to part ways with. So this is a look at my full beauty stash now that I've done a declutter. I can actually see everything, whereas before I found items were kind of layered up. And I've got, this is my bin that I use for all of my everyday makeup. So there's a lot more room for things now, which I'm really excited about. So here we've got a look at all the products that I'm going to be throwing away because they're old or because I can't actually share them with anybody else. And then over here, I've got the products that I'm going to be giving away to friends or family or donating to beauty banks. So I actually think I did pretty well with my full stash that I have now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, especially if you made it all the way to the end. I know this will have been a long one. I absolutely love talking about makeup, and I'm really sorry if I chatted really quickly. I just wanted to be able to get through all of the products without taking up too much of your time. Thank you so much for watching another one of my daily videos. I hope that you are enjoying them, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow with a brand new one. See you soon. Bye.